Hi, welcome to today's session. I'm Rebecca and I'll be guiding you through a foundational yoga flow. This is where we'll be moving through some of the key poses in yoga to help mobilize the body and connect with the breath. We'll be starting seated today, so grab a mat if you've got one. You don't need any other equipment. And then either sitting back onto the heels or bringing the pelvis down onto the floor with the legs crossed. So whatever feels more comfortable for you. Then rest the hands down onto the legs. Start to lengthen through the back of the body, growing nice and tall. And then soften the shoulders back and down, away from the ears. Here we're going to either close down the eyes or take a soft gaze towards the floor. And before we dive into our physical postures, we'll take a moment here to connect with our breath. So just notice the pace of your breath, the depth, where the breath is sitting in the body. Now often if we're rushing around or feeling a bit stressed or anxious, the breath can sit quite high up in the chest. So it's here when we arrive into our practice, we can start to slow down the breath. Breathing in deeply. Exhale. Let's do two more together. Breathing through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Good. One more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Nice. Blinking open the eyes. If they're closed, let's interlace the fingers in front of the body. Just stretch the arms up towards the ceiling, pressing really tall. As you exhale, let's take a twist towards the left side, taking the arm to the outside of the thigh. Other hand is behind you. One more breath here, breathing in. Exhale, releasing that twist. Interlace the hands in front of the body once again, stretching up towards the ceiling, pressing tall. And a big exhale, take yourself over to the other side. Gazing over that back shoulder. Inhale, lengthen from the crown of the head. Exhale, twisting a little bit deeper into the body. Inhale here. Exhale, releasing that twist. Now, if you're sitting onto the pelvis with the legs crossed over, we're going to roll over to the knees. And then take the hips all the way back towards the heels. The knees are going to go quite wide towards the edges of the mat, if you have a mat. And then walking the hands forwards, reaching nice and far forwards, allowing the crown of the head to fold down. So I'm resting the forehead into the floor here. So this can be considered one of our more restful postures in yoga, but sometimes this can be a little bit uncomfortable as well. So if you need to tuck the toes under or even lift the chest up a little bit to make it more comfortable for you, that's totally fine. So just think about, as we move through our practice, how your body's feeling and maybe any adjustments you can make to make things a little bit more gentle and more comfortable. Let's take two more breaths here. Breathing in. Exhale. One more breath. Breathing in. And out. All right, as you inhale, let's rise up, bring the weight into the hands, bring the knees in a little bit closer together. So they're about hip width apart here. Spread the fingers really wide so you have a strong base for the body. Make sure the toes are untucked so the tops of the feet are down onto the floor. We're going to take 3 rounds of cat-cow here. So as you inhale, arching the spine, lifting the gaze, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone under. Really press into the floor as you spread the shoulder blades, chin towards the chest. Nice. All right, inhale, let's open the body. Lift the gaze. Exhale, tucking tailbone, pressing into the floor, spread shoulder blades. Last round, inhale, open. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, flatten the spine, tucking the toes under this time. Lift the hips up and back. This is our downward facing dog. So I want the feet about hip width apart here. Again, spread the fingers nice and wide, press the palms down. We're lifting the hips towards the ceiling. Now notice if the shoulders are a little bit far forward, see if you can open the chest towards the thighs. And you can always lift the heels quite high here to give you a bit more space in the body. Now see if you can start to walk the feet out. So bending one knee and the other. And here we start to work into the back of the legs. So you might feel a bit of a stretch along the back of the legs here. Let's take one more breath. On your next inhale, looking towards the hands, a soft bend in the knees, start to walk the feet forwards towards the hands. We're going to find our forward fold, our ragdoll pose. So catch hold of the elbows, keep the knees nice and bouncy, allow the whole torso to hang down towards the floor. Nice relaxed head and neck, a little sway from side to side. On your next inhale, bring the hands just below the knees, flatten the back, gaze forwards. Pull the shoulders back away from the ears. This is our halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. This time, reach the hands towards the floor, but maybe you're going to hold on to the shins, and you can stay a little bit more upright if that's more comfortable for you. Just folding down as far as feels suitable. Inhale, let's find that halfway lift again. Bring the hands just below the knees, gazing forwards, flatten the spine, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, let's reach all the way up towards the ceiling this time. Reach the hands above the head, bring the palms together. Exhale, we're going to fold all the way back down to the ground. Inhale, a halfway lift. So we've been here before now. Hands just below the knees, flatten the spine, gaze forwards. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, let's rise all the way up to stand, pressing tall, reaching above the head. Bring the palms together, lift the gaze. Exhale, folding all the way down. So we're going to start to mix it up a little bit now. Inhale, halfway lift, hands below the knees, lengthen the spine, gaze forwards. Exhale, bring the hands down to the ground. This time you can bend the knees as much as you want to for that to happen. Step the right foot back, then the left foot. We come into a high plank. Inhale here, press into the ground, spread the shoulder blades. Exhale, lower the knees down, and then the chest, then the chin. Inhale, lift the torso slightly, squeeze the elbows behind you so you really fully feel the back engaging here. Exhale, tucking the toes under, press the hips back, lift the hips towards the ceiling. We come back into that downward facing dog. So take a moment to check in with the alignment of the body. So spreading fingers, press palms, lift sit bones towards the ceiling. You can always lift the heels as well to help that happen. So we're flowing through something called a sun salutation A at the moment. I'm going to keep it moving now. So inhale, looking towards the hands. Start to walk the feet forwards. Let's come straight into that halfway lift. So hands just below the knees, lengthen the spine. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, root to rise. So reaching up towards the ceiling, pressing tall. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Yeah, let's flow again. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, folding down. Remember, you can reach to the floor if you can reach there, or you can hold onto the shins, just lower the crown of the head. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, gazing forwards. Exhale, bring the hands down, either stepping, maybe you want to take a little jump, back into that high plank. Nice. Inhale, press into the floor, spread shoulder blades. Exhale, either knees, chest, chin, like we did before, or if you want something a little bit stronger, keep the knees lifted. See if you can bend the elbows back behind, hover just above the floor, and then we inhale, move forwards. We're going to go all the way into our upward facing dog now. So this is where the arms are straight. Press the tops of the feet down. So I lift the hips slightly. Good. Inhale here. Exhale. Lift up and back. Downward facing. All right, so either you can stay here in your downward facing for a few breaths, or you can bring the knees down, find that child's pose once again. So it's always nice to have a couple options here, depending on how you're feeling today. And whether you're in downward facing dog or child's pose, let's take one more breath here. Breathing in. Exhale. Inhale, looking towards the hands. Start to either walk the feet forwards, or you can take that jump again to the front of the mat. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen, gazing forwards. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, we rise up to stand, reach the arms above the head, lift the gaze, palms together above you. Exhale, hands down through heart center. All right, so that was our sun salutation A. Now we're going to go through our sun salutation B. So it's kind of similar, but we're going to mix it up a little bit. So on your next inhale, we're going to find a chair pose. Bend the knees, sweep the arms underneath. Good. Really sinking down into the body here. Reach the arms kind of to the top corner of the room. Last breath in. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, let's go into that halfway lift. So we've been here before. Lengthen the spine, gaze forwards. Exhale, hands come down. Take the feet behind you. You can step or jump. Knees, chest, chin. Or we can take the knees lifted. Good. Inhale, upward facing dog. So press the arms straight here. Try and lift the hips slightly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah, let's take a couple breaths here. Remember that child's pose is always there for you. So we do have a lot of repetition in our yoga practice, which I think is a really nice thing because we can start to build up that familiarity with poses. It all can feel a bit maybe bizarre or unfamiliar at the beginning. And then after a few sessions, you really start to see the patterns and your body remembers where to go, which is really nice. So on your next inhale, take the gaze towards the hands and take your right foot forwards. So either you can step it straight forwards, you can bring the knee down and then move it forwards, whatever you want to get there. It's totally fine. And then lift that back knee, ground the back heel down to the ground. We're going to rise up into a warrior one. So my front foot is facing forwards. My back foot is about 45 degrees. I'm drawing my right hip back, so my hips are going straight to the front of the mat. Then I reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Now try and lunge into this front leg. Keep rising up through the body. Take one more breath in. Exhale. We're going to open out into a warrior two. So bring the arms down to shoulder height, and then just open that back foot a little bit so the toes are going a bit further out. Good. Keep lunging into this front leg. Soften shoulders away from the ears. We're going to take one more pose in this sequence. So inhale, straighten the front leg. Bring the back foot in very slightly. Reach forwards, 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 forwards. And then bring this front hand down to the shin. Other arm stretches to the ceiling. This is our triangle pose. Now here you want to keep lifting through the side body. Try not to collapse down into this bottom hand. It's more just there for support and stability. But this can be a little bit of a wobbly pose. All right, last breath in. Exhale, bring the gaze down to the ground. Lunge into this front knee. Bring the hands to the floor. Lift the back heel. Step back into your downward facing dog. So whenever you re-enter a pose, take a moment to check in with the hands. Are the fingers are spreading? Press the palms. Lift the sit bones. So just realigning yourself in that pose. And then we'll go to the other side. So inhale, look towards the hands. We're going to take that left foot forwards, wherever you want to get there. Maybe the knee's going to come down. Ground the back heel to the floor. Rise up. This is our warrior one. So remember, foot's going forwards, left hip is back. You can take this back foot out nice and wide. Lunging down, reach the arms up. Nice. One more breath here, breathing in. Exhale. Let's open out, warrior two. So bring the arms down to shoulder height. Moving this back foot sort of more into the midline a little bit. Toes are going to go out a little bit wider. So my whole body is a little bit more open to the side of the mat. Lunge into this front knee, soften shoulders. One more breath here, breathing in. Exhale. Inhale, straighten this front leg. You can shorten the stance slightly because I'm going to reach forwards, 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 forwards. Then bring this front hand down to the shin. Other arm stretches up. Triangle pose. Keep lifting through the side body. Nice. So you're seeing me from the other side now, so you can see what it looks like in the other direction. Last breath in. Exhale. Bring the gaze down to the ground. Hands to the floor. We're going to step back into our high plank. Bring the knees to the ground. sit the hips back and we'll find our child's pose. So whenever we come into our child's pose, it's a moment to just recenter, to slow everything down. Come back to the breath. Let's take one more breath here, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, lifting the chest, start to walk the hands back towards you. Take the hips over to one side, stretch the legs forwards, shuffle the hips, and then we can roll down onto the back of the body. We're going to take one more pose here before we close our session. Press the palms down into the floor. Feet are about hip width apart. And your next inhale, lift the hips towards the ceiling. This is our bridge pose. So this is quite a nice back bend for the body, opening the front body. One more breath here, breathing. Exhale, lowering the hips down to the ground. Now stretching the legs onto the floor, we can open the palms to the ceiling. And this is our final resting pose called Shavasana. So start to slow down the breath a little bit more. And we'll take 3 breaths together to close our practice. Breathing in. Open the mouth to exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Big exhale out. When you're ready, bending the knees, also the feet onto the floor. Take the legs over to one side and then pressing yourself back up to seated. All right, that's the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to come back anytime to go over these poses, to learn a little bit more, and I'll see you next time.